Middle Eastern politics is complicated and often murky. It inspires passionate argument and deeply held enmities and loyalties. It's also largely conducted by men, with the odd exception. The most notable is perhaps Hanan Ashrawi, a Palestinian academic and political activist who's been deeply involved in political causes in her homeland for over 30 years. Born to Christian Palestinian parents in 1946, Ashrawi grew up to become a professor of English literature. From 1973 to 1995, she taught at the Bezit University near Ramallah in the middle of the West Bank. But with a father who was one of the founding members of the Palestine Liberation Organization, politics was part of her genetic makeup. In 1974, in between teaching and publishing writings on Palestinian culture, she founded the university's Legal Aid Committee and Human Rights Action Project. 14 years later, she joined the Intifada Political Committee. In this role, she appeared on American TV's Nightline program in April 1988, which catapulted her to global recognition as a voice of reason in the debate over the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
The level of violence is unacceptable. The need for peace is urgent. The British government wants to talk to both sides and see if there is a way to move the whole process forward. Hanan Ashrawi is one of the leading Palestinians. She's been part of peace negotiations in the past, and she's in many ways a voice of sanity in a situation where we have suicide bombing and violence and repression of the Palestinian people. So I wanted to talk through some of the issues with her. There is contact between Israelis and Palestinians. There are people who want to work towards peace. The British government is trying to encourage those efforts. So I hope that contacts like the one I had today will provide encouragement for those who want to work towards a peace settlement.
After Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin's historic signing of the Oslo Accords in the early 90s, in which self-rule for Palestine was established, Ashrawi was made head of the preparatory committee of the Palestine Independent Commission for Citizens' Rights. Other government positions followed, but in 1998 she resigned from her post as education minister, protesting about political corruption and Arafat's handling of the peace talks. 2 years later, Ashrawi founded a new initiative. Dubbed MIFTA, it's a Jerusalem-based institution working towards fostering democracy and good governance within Palestinian society. Its aims include reinforcing the Palestinian state-building process and increasing global awareness of regional issues. In November 2003, the New South Wales Premier Bob Carr presented Ashrawi with the Sydney Peace Prize. The award was boycotted by its main sponsor, the City of Sydney, and Jewish groups also criticised her selection. Ashrawi was surprised by the level of animosity she encountered in a country so far from home. Her speech emphasized the importance of cooperation and understanding.
There can be no legitimacy for Israel without the Palestinians, and there can be no legitimate Palestinian state without sharing the land of Palestine and recognizing the legitimacy of the State of Israel. So from here, it's neither the mentality of the revolution or militarism or unilateralism, nor the mentality of the occupation and control and coercion, but the mentality and attitude of humanity, of warmth, of fraternity and sisterhood, and of genuine recognition and validation of our collective narrative and of our distinctive identities. I do love you all wholeheartedly. Thank you.